Hi guys, and welcome back to Frank and F.O.E. You're catching episode 12, and today we're going to be talking about the practice of gratitude. In last episode, we talked about self-love and we talked about self-care. Today's episode, I really want to touch on just the practice of gratitude. Now, there's a few things that have happened in the last week that has brought me to wanting to share my story with you about how gratitude and the practice of gratitude has helped shift my eyesight, my mentality, and my view on so many things in my life. The thing is, when it comes to gratitude, right, it's an emotion, it's a feeling, and it's something that can definitely be easily felt on a day that marks a special occasion, or a day that allows you to reminisce, or a day that creates love and happiness, something to celebrate, right? But more recently, I have been feeling an abundance of gratitude daily. And on the 4th of July of this year, 2021, it marked the day that my daughter was born, where I was her age, 17, bringing life into this world with no idea what to expect and what to do. And it took me back. I was looking at photos. I was looking at memories of us when she was born. And it took me to a place where I realized that in those times, in the day, at the time that she was born, leading up to her birth, prior to her being conceived, there was so many issues that I was facing. My mental health was poor. I was a 15-year-old girl who was addicted to drugs. I was a 16-year-old girl who was trying to come off drugs. I was a 15-year-old girl who had a miscarriage. I was going underage night clubbing and getting into relationships with men that were much older than me. I had no self-worth. I had no self-care. I had no self-love. And I truly didn't understand how to love me. But the loss of my unborn baby at the age of 15 left a hole. It left a hole so deep in me that when I fell pregnant with my daughter, there was no doubt, there was no question, there was not a single thing that went through my mind at any particular time that told me that you weren't going to be this baby's mom. I was 110% prepared to be this beautiful baby girl's mom. And at the end of the day, when I'm sat here yesterday reflecting on the journey that has been 17 years and even the journey leading up to conceiving her, I realized the amount of pain and the amount of struggle and the amount of times that I was desperately questioning my life, my decisions, who I was, whether I was even meant to be here on earth. I went through a spout of suicidal thoughts. I had an attempt of suicide. I was addicted to drugs. I was sleeping around. I had nobody that I could call home for me personally. Yes, I had a mom. Yes, I had a dad. Of course, I had parents. And of course, I had a family. But when you're a teenage girl and you're going through an identity thing and you're not feeling good about yourself, you're not reaching out to the people that love you the most. You're lost. And when I conceived Ashaya, there was this abundance of love that I felt, this abundance of certainty that I had never felt before. And the day that I brought her into this world 17 years ago, the day that I got to meet her for the very first time, it was a ridiculously hard labor. It was incredibly traumatic. But every single thing in the world just didn't matter anymore when she came. And then I look at the life that her and I have had. I look at the struggles, the ups, the downs, the emotional pulling and pushing that we had to go through. I mean, I fell pregnant to a guy that wasn't ready to be a father, and he made decisions for him, and he made decisions to leave, and I had to obviously express that to her at some stage in her life. I am a big believer in being honest. I'm a big believer in the integrity of your word, and being able to hold some sort of dignity in the fact that regardless of the things and the decisions I've made, or regardless of the things and the decisions that other people have made, there is a level of accountability that's required to be honest. And it needs to come from the right place. Like for me personally, I don't know if I did everything right or wrong. Of course I didn't. I am not perfect. I'm not a picture of perfection. I am not the best parent in the world. I am just a normal, everyday human being. And at the end of the day, I shared the truth with my child. I shared the truth of how she came about and who her biological father was or is. I shared the journey and in which we had to make decisions, and he made his choice. And it wasn't a reflection of her. It wasn't a reflection of the things that he couldn't love. It was a reflection of him and where he was at. And raising a little girl to understand these things was a challenge in itself. And the man that she calls dad, the man that was her father her whole life, is not her biological father. And having to understand that and having to deal with that as a little person. And then having siblings. I have 2 more kids, and the way in which we had to describe to them that, biologically, it was challenging. And for some reason, when I woke up yesterday morning and I was looking back at the memories, and I was looking back at how far we have come as a duo, her and I, her being an infant 17 years ago and now a 17-year-old beautiful woman, and me being 17 years ago and now being 34, standing side by side doing life together, learning how to be a parent, learning how to be a kid, learning how to be a parent of a teenager, and learning how to be a teenager. She and I have been doing life like this for 17 years. And it made me understand how incredibly grateful I am for every single area in my life, for every mistake, for every low, for every decision, for every good thing, for every bad, for every traumatic event, for every challenging and confronting one, for all the relationships that I've had, for all the family members that have, been given to my daughter and I. I sat back yesterday in just the thick of this feeling of complete and utter gratitude. And I know that I've been practicing gratitude a lot. I know that for the last 12 months, gratitude has become a daily thing for me, to find the silver lining, to find the thing, the light in all of the darkness, so that I can continue to move forward, that I can continue to be strong, so I can continue to see purpose in even the shitty, sticky, ugly, hard stuff. And with all of that being said, when I woke up yesterday and I looked back in time and I looked at her, I realized that I seriously have this deep gratitude for it all. For every single decision that was made, for every decision that was made that impacted me. All I know is that I came from a place where I could have been nothing. And instead, I found ways to find light in even the darkest corners. And I have subconsciously practicing gratitude for my lifetime, finding ways to see the good in the bad, being grateful for even the darkest times, not sitting in the thick of all of the hurt and feeling like I can't get back up. And just the art of gratitude, what it does, how it makes you feel, how much peace it brings. I could spend a lifetime feeling aggressive and upset for all the things that people have done and said and made me feel over the years. When you make decisions for yourself, sometimes it is an isolating process. Sometimes people don't know how to handle the decisions you're making for you because they're the best things for you, and sometimes they don't understand. So you become, sometimes it's an isolating process, and I have been there countless times. I remember, like being pregnant in the first instance as a teenage girl wasn't the most welcoming experience for people who loved me, and not everybody was opposed to it, but not everyone was for it. Getting married at the age of 19, so many people were against that, but I did it anyway because I felt like it was the right thing for me at the time. And getting a divorce and going through breaking up a family and not meeting the expectations that other people needed you to meet. You can harbor pain, hurt, and anger and hate. But by the simple practice of gratitude, by understanding that there is more to this than meets the eye, there is lessons to be learnt, there is growth to be had, there is challenges to accept. You come out on the other end, no matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're seeing and how you're feeling, and you know deep down inside that this is happening for me for a reason. This is happening to build me. And I am living proof of that. And I am sharing this with you today for no other reason other than I am so incredibly humbled and so incredibly proud and so incredibly grateful for the last 17 years of my life, with all of the ins and outs and ups and downs, with all of the comings and the goings of people in my life, with all of the decisions and the hurt, with all of that anger, with all of the happiness, with all of the wins, with every single thing that has occurred in the last 17 years. I am truly grateful for it all, even when it felt like the pits. It has not been an easy 17 years, but it has been the most rewarding. I look at my 17-year-old daughter today and I see nothing but beauty. She is absolutely incredible as a human being, as a person. And the amount of time and energy that I spent worrying about, am I doing this right? And knowing that majority of the time I didn't know what I was doing, I am truly grateful for the lesson. And if I can impart anything to you is, no matter what the challenge, no matter what the obstacle, you will find ways to cope, and you will find ways to get through it, and it will be impacting. But there is always room for gratitude. So today I just sit back and I am truly grateful for every person, everything, every situation, for every single hard, sticky, shitty moment in life. And I challenge you guys that if something's going on for you right now, if you're having a hard time, if you're facing a few of your own demons, if you are in the midst of healing, if you are in the midst of decision making, just know that at the end of the day, take a step back for a second. Take a moment. Look at your shit. Find the silver lining. Find the light. Find ways to be grateful for even the smallest thing in that situation, moment, decision. If the thing is happening to you and you cannot control it, that's okay. You can still find some way to see how that might be serving you. And by doing that, and by seeing how it could be teaching you something, this could be a moment, a defining moment for you. It takes the weight of it all and it turns it into something light. It turns it into something extraordinary. What were decisions that I made 17 years ago that altered my life forever have, without a doubt, served me every day till today. And even if some of my decisions have been impacting on others, and even if some decisions that others have impacted, decisions other people have made have been impacting on me, end of the day, all those things led to me being here. And being here in this moment where I still don't have everything materialistically in life, but I have everything I need, and I have an amazing and incredible bunch of human beings that I am raising and that I get to do life with. And I have friendships and a tribe of people that I've found and loved throughout all of my lifetime. Out of all of that, if that's all I can walk away from with life, I think I'm the most abundant. And I am truly grateful. So I hope that if you are going through something, if you have had experiences that are leaving you feeling heavy and dark, and even if there are things that you just can't seem to move past, if there's people have done things to you, said things to you, decisions have been made and have impacted you, I challenge you to find the lessons, find how it served you, and be grateful for them. What did you gain? What have you gained? What can you gain? All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that today you've learned a little bit more about me, a little bit more about who I am and what matters to me the most. And don't forget to like and subscribe my YouTube page, and don't forget to add me on Facebook and Instagram. Get a little bit deeper with me and ask me any questions you like. I'm willing to connect. Thanks, guys, and I hope you have a great week.